Hi, my name is Austin Southcott. The teaching strategy I've chosen to talk about is the word map. I like word maps because they give the students a lot of freedom to kind of think of their own thoughts that make them think about a certain word or a certain concept. So, really, just the freedom that it gives them to use their own associations to the concept is why I like word maps so much. The book I use is Teaching and Reading in Social Studies, Science, and Math, Practical Ways to Weave Comprehension Strategies into Your Content Area Teaching, and it's written by Laura Ross. It's a great book. It has a lot of strategies that will help new teachers to kind of get a starter lesson and then make their own adjustments to the lessons that the book has that kind of fit their teaching styles best. So the book does have a lot of really good thoughts and ideas on those kinds of strategies. The purpose for a word map is to study a word or concept by looking at related elements and to help students internalize the three mapping questions and move to independence. So really what you're doing is you're taking a word or a concept and these students are going to try to think of a bunch of different things that relate to that word, that relate them to that word, that make them think about that word or that concept, whatever it is, any element, it can be anything. And another reason for it is to move to independence, kind of think on their own, come up with their own thoughts and ideas towards words and reasonings behind why words are words, things like that. So word map is real useful and can really help the students move on to the next level. Here's an example of a word map. The word I put in was ping pong for physical education content. So what is it? The student would come up with things that relate to ping pong, like what is ping pong? It's kind of like tennis. It's got a smaller paddle and a smaller ball. It's played on a hard table. Things like that that make ping pong what ping pong is. Sorry, I said tennis and the wrong thing. What is it like? It's just like tennis. It's similar to volleyball. It's similar to badminton. It has a net like those things, and you hit a ball over the net just like those things. And what are some examples? You could use the Olympic ping pong as an example. You could use your rec centers that have ping pong tables as an example. There's a bunch of things that the students could put in there for those three different what is it like, and what are some examples. They could put anything that they could think of that relates them back to ping pong. So that's going to tell you as a teacher the things that they've learned and what they know about ping pong already, and that's going to help you decide what your lessons can be about and what content you can cover throughout ping pong that they don't already know, because this stuff is going to be the basic stuff that they already know. When should you use this strategy? It should be used when students just have some prior knowledge about a keyword, but they don't quite understand the concepts and information that go with it. And by creating this word map, you're giving them a visual representation of the word's meaning. And I really like this part of word map. The visual representation is huge. I was a visual learner, so it was a lot easier for me to actually see something happen and see how it works and understand it that way rather than read it in a book or maybe hear it in a lecture. So seeing the word on paper and thinking myself of things that relate me to that word would have helped me a lot throughout school in order to understand and comprehend these concepts completely. So yeah, you just want to make sure they don't know too much about it, because it's going to be way too basic for them if they have too much knowledge on the subject. You just want them to know pretty much some basic things about it, and then you're going to let your lessons after that teach them the things that they don't know past the basics. So the three parts of the word map, they're what is it? So you're going to ask the students to give an example or an alternate name for the word. The what is it like? You're going to ask students to list important properties or features that describe the word. And examples. You want to invite your students to give examples of the word or concept, even if they may be far-fetched or not exactly what you're looking for. You really want them to give as much input as they can. Another modification I would maybe make is to have them use the word in a sentence. That's going to help you as a teacher really know if they are understanding the true meaning behind the word, and if they're going to be able to put it into a sentence and make it grammatically correct as well. So, like I said, these strategies the book gives you, they're pretty much basic lessons that you can take and make your own modifications to that fit your teaching style. So that little modification I just made would be something I would put into the word map. I think seeing them put it in a sentence is also a big step to understanding and comprehending a word. Now, my favorite part of it is the best part: think, pair, and share. This is the time that the students get to talk about the concept and see what other students' perspectives are on a word or on the certain vocabulary word. I think when students interact with each other, they're learning their cooperative learning and things like that, but they're also getting a totally different perspective from somebody else. Everybody sees things in different ways and understands things in different ways, so letting them talk amongst each other and kind of hear what their peers have to say is probably going to teach them a couple more things right at the end of the lesson that they didn't already learn throughout the word map. I really like this part because of that, and I think cooperative learning is huge when you're moving on into high school, college, and whenever you get a job after all of that. It's really important to know how to be able to work as a cooperative group. So this part of the lesson is really important to me. An example of using think, pair, and share at the end, let's use the ping pong example I had for a word map. Students can get together afterwards and discuss maybe certain forehands or backhands that they use in ping pong. They can discuss maybe strategies about hitting it to the opposite side of the table than their opponent, things like that. They're going to learn concepts farther along than the actual word itself throughout the think, pair, and share. You're going to have all kinds of discussions going in a lot of different ways, but the main part of this is to just make sure that when they're paired up, that they're discussing the word at hand. In this case, it would be ping pong. So any kind of discussion that has anything to do with ping pong, or a rule about ping pong, or a strategy within ping pong is invited at this part of the lesson. So like I said, the importance of the cooperative learning and just the importance of how much they're going to learn from one another is huge. So I think pair, and share is great for not just a word map, but for really any kind of lesson or lecture or any activity. Just letting the students have, even if it's just 5 minutes, to talk amongst each other and just hear another perspective of what other people are looking at and how they feel about a certain topic is going to help them in the long run. So that's a really important thing. That's all I have. I hope you guys enjoy my word map strategy. Thanks.